This is DD India and you're watching Express News, a program where we bring you top 100 news of the day. I'm Tanvi Taneja. Let's begin. Prime Minister Narendra Modi addressed the 78th session of the World Health Assembly in Geneva on Tuesday via video conferencing. Prime Minister Modi highlighted Ayushman Bharat, the world's largest health insurance scheme which covers 580 million people and provides free treatment. Speaking about the 11th International Day of Yoga in June, under the theme Yoga for One Earth, One Health, Prime Minister extended an invitation to all countries. Prime Minister Modi spoke to newly appointed German Chancellor Friedrich Merz on Tuesday and congratulated him on assuming office. The leaders exchanged views on regional and global developments, and Prime Minister Modi wrote on X that we stand united in the fight against terrorism. India's Foreign Secretary Vikram Misri briefed 3 of the 7 all-party delegations being sent abroad as part of India's diplomatic outreach on Operation Sindoor. The Border Security Force has resumed the retreat ceremony at 3 locations in Punjab along the Pakistan border starting Tuesday. However, the BSF troops will not shake hands with Pakistan Rangers and the gates will not be opened during the ceremony. India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar met with Prime Minister of the Netherlands Dick Schoof in The Hague on Tuesday. The minister appreciated Schoof's commitment for taking the India-Netherlands partnership to newer heights. Earlier, External Affairs Minister Jaishankar interacted with representatives of the Indian community in the Netherlands and highlighted the contribution of the community to building a stronger relationship between India and the Netherlands. India's Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal held talks with the US Secretary of Commerce Howard Lutnick to expedite the first tranche of the India-US bilateral trade agreement. Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Wednesday chaired a meeting to review the progress in India's tourism sector. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman inaugurated the commemorating ceremony marking 16 years of Competition Commission of India (CCI). While addressing the event, Nirmala Sitharaman highlighted the government's vision for the CCI's future role and praised the CCI for playing a significant role in driving India's economic growth. India's Union Minister for Agriculture and Farmers' Welfare Shivraj Singh Chauhan inaugurated the annual conference of Vice Chancellors and Directors of Indian Council of Agriculture Research Institutes. The theme of the year is Convergence for Action, Shaping Agricultural Research, Education and Extension for Viksit Bharat 2047. Dr. Jitendra Singh, Union Minister of State for Science and Technology, was present at the inauguration of CSIR Startup Conclave 2025. Chief Minister of Maharashtra Devendra Fadnavis inaugurated the conclave. While addressing the event, MOS for Science and Technology said that people did not know about startups when Prime Minister Narendra Modi launched the Startup India initiative in 2016. But today, the country has 1.45 lakh registered startups. Indian Minister for Food and Public Distribution Prahlad Joshi launched the Doordarshan, Anna Mitra and Anna Sahayata apps in New Delhi. These apps are aligned with the government's aim of advancing the country's food security through digital innovation. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will virtually inaugurate more than 100 railway stations across the country through virtual medium on 22nd of May. Prime Minister Modi expressed grief over the demise of Dr. M.R. Srinivasan, a stalwart of India's nuclear energy program. Prime Minister Modi wrote that his instrumental role in developing critical nuclear infrastructure has been foundational to India being self-reliant in the energy sector. The 8th meeting of the India-US Joint Working Group on Aircraft Carrier Technology Cooperation was organized in India from May 13th to 16th. A 6-member US delegation visited various defense establishments in Delhi and Goa. Indian Navy will induct and unveil the name of the ancient stitched ship during a ceremonial event on Wednesday. Union Minister of Culture Gajendra Singh Shekhawat will preside over the ceremony as the chief guest. Sub-Inspector Geeta Samota of India's Central Industrial Security Force CISF has created history after becoming the first woman officer of CISF who hoisted the tricolour on Mount Everest. On to business news now. Indian equity indices traded lower on Tuesday. Sensex plunged 873 points to close at 81,186. Nifty at the National Stock Exchange slipped 262 points and settled at 24,684. The Indian rupee closed weaker against the US dollar on Tuesday. The domestic currency ended 25 paise lower at 85 rupees 64 paise. Gold futures maturing on June 5th were priced at 93,564 rupees per 10 grams on the multi-commodity exchange. Silver futures for July 4th maturity stood at 95,788 rupees per kilo on the MCX. Brent crude futures fell 7 cents to $65.48 per barrel on Tuesday. In a move that could redefine its AI alliances, Microsoft has announced to host Grok, the generative AI model from Elon Musk's xAI, on its Azure AI Foundry. The Reserve Bank of Australia on Tuesday cut its mean cash rate by 25 basis points to 3.85%. This is the first time that Reserve Bank of Australia changed interest since 1990. China cut its benchmark lending rates for the first time since October on Tuesday, while major state banks lowered deposit rates as authorities work to ease monetary policy to help buffer the economy. Apple's supplier Foxconn will invest 1.5 billion rupees in its India unit, the company said in a filing, as the iPhone maker shifts more manufacturing out of tariff-hit China. European Union defence ministers gathered in Brussels on Tuesday as the EU adopted new measures in favour of Ukraine in the ongoing conflict with Russia. Reacting to EU's sanctions, Russia's foreign ministry said that Russia never responds to ultimatums. Russia also said that Ukraine had to decide whether or not it would cooperate in discussing a memorandum ahead of a potential future peace accord. Britain's Prime Minister Keir Starmer said on Tuesday that Britain is back on the world stage after striking deals with the European Union on trade, with vastly reduced paperwork and border checks on plant and animal products. US President Donald Trump held a phone call with Russian President Vladimir Putin and later with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, signaling fresh willingness to pursue a ceasefire. Trump touted real progress, declaring that Russia and Ukraine will immediately start negotiations towards a ceasefire, potentially ending a conflict that has now entered into its third year. Kremlin aide Yuri Ushakov said that Russian President Vladimir Putin and his US counterpart did not discuss a timeline for a ceasefire in Ukraine during their 2-hour phone call on Monday. Zelensky stressed the need for an immediate ceasefire and revealed efforts to organize a high-level peace summit with the US, EU, UK, Russia and Ukraine. European and US leaders welcomed Pope Leo's offer to host peace talks at the Vatican. Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni, French President Emmanuel Macron and German Chancellor Friedrich Merz spoke with Trump in support of the renewed negotiations. Ahead of a meeting with the European ministers in Brussels, NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte on Tuesday said that it is very positive that the US administration is involved in the Ukraine peace effort, but it is crucial that Europeans and Ukraine are consulted as well. German Foreign Minister Johann Vadeful has expressed willingness to heed the call from US President Donald Trump for increased defense expenditure among NATO member states. Norway's Crown Prince Haakon met Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky on Tuesday in Kiev. Zelensky appreciated Norway's $450 million contribution to Ukraine's energy security. French President Emmanuel Macron hailed a record $22 billion in foreign investment during the Choose France conference at the Palace of Versailles on Monday. US President Donald Trump signed a bill called Take It Down Act on Monday, making it a federal crime to post revenge porn, whether it is real or generated by artificial intelligence. Donald Trump raised questions about the timing of former US President Joe Biden's prostate cancer diagnosis. Trump suggested that the public should have been informed earlier, fueling speculation about a cover-up. The United States announced the formation of a new unit that will crack down on federally funded universities that have diversity, equity, and inclusion policies using a civil anti-fraud law, the Justice Department said in a memo. The U.S. Department of Health and Human Services said on Monday that it is terminating $60 million in federal grants to Harvard University due to its failure to address anti-Semitic harassment and race discrimination. Taiwan's President Lai Ching-te said his country wants peace and dialogue with China as war has no winners. He also said that the government must continue to strengthen the island's defenses as he marked 1 year into taking office. Hundreds of ride-hailing drivers staged protests on Tuesday in several cities in Indonesia to demand higher pay, rejecting a planned merger between the country's largest tech company Go2 and US-listed ride-hailing firm Grab. Cambodians on Tuesday observed the annual Day of Remembrance to mark the 50th anniversary of the brutality of the Khmer Rouge regime. Hundreds of people along with local administration joined to pay their respects and pray for the victims. And members of the World Health Organization adopted a landmark agreement on Tuesday on how to prepare for future pandemics following the COVID-19 outbreak, which killed millions of people between 2020 and 2022. We're heading for a short break. We'll be back with Express News in just a bit. Stay tuned to DD India.
Goa, a food paradise, both steeped in historical culinary tradition and at the forefront of a modern-day food revolution that is fresher, more local, and more global than ever before. I'm embarking on a journey across the state to explore the very best of food here.
This is honestly my favorite way to eat an egg.
Break bread with some of Goa's most loved chefs and understand what food really means to communities here. Watch Postcards from Goa on National Geographic.
Complex issues, hidden agendas, twists and turns, strategic games. We think all dots are linked. We just need to connect.
Welcome back. You're watching Express News on DD India. Let's resume. A powerful tornado tore through Grinnell, Kansas, damaging homes and toppling trees and power lines. Authorities confirmed no serious injuries or fatalities. A severe hailstorm has struck Longe, south of Toulouse, as weather alerts remain in place across southern France, with storms expected to continue throughout the week. Drone footage revealed widespread damage in North St. Louis, Missouri, following deadly tornadoes across the U.S. Midwest that claimed at least 25 lives. Tokyo marked the hottest day of the year with temperature of 31.1 degrees Celsius as per Japan Meteorological Agency. India's weather department issued a red alert for Karnataka, forecasting more rain over 5 days. Bengaluru saw severe waterlogging and traffic chaos on Tuesday. Bengaluru's heavy rains turned deadly, claiming 3 lives, 2 by electrocution and 1 due to a wall collapse amid widespread flooding. A cyclonic circulation over the Bay of Bengal and likely low-pressure system near Karnataka by May 22nd may bring heavy rains to Tamil Nadu and nearby regions. Kerala remains under an orange alert until May 24th as the southwest monsoon brings intense rain, strong winds and lightning across the state. A yellow alert has been issued for 5 hilly districts in Uttarakhand with anticipated rain offering much needed relief from the ongoing heat wave. India's capital Delhi is enduring extreme heat with temperatures forecast to reach 46 degrees Celsius and the minimum hovering near 31 degrees Celsius, pushing heat stress to dangerous levels. Hundreds gathered in Santo Amaro for the 136th Bembe de Mercado festival, blending Afro-Brazilian music, dance and rituals in celebration of the end of slavery. In London, gardeners, celebrities and charities showcased their creations at the Chelsea Flower Show. More than 140,000 visitors are anticipated to explore 400 exhibits over 5 days as the Chelsea Flower Show highlights sustainability and creative gardening solutions. Northern Mexico's cattle farmers are stepping up pest control after the new world screwworm was found in the south, prompting the US to halt imports of cattle, horses and bison from the country. Nearly 1,000 burrowes, agile cliff-dwelling mountain goats were recorded foraging in the northwest China's Qilian County, highlighting a rare wildlife sighting. A retrospective exhibition in China celebrates the legacy of Wang Zhou, one of the nation's iconic modern artists known for vividly portraying life along the southern coast. Computex, Taiwan's premier tech expo, opened in Taipei, showcasing cutting-edge AI and robotics innovations to thousands of global industry participants. Brazil is investigating a highly pathogenic avian flu outbreak among wild birds in a Rio Grande do Sul zoo to determine links to its first commercial poultry case. At 4,000 meters altitude, farmers in China's Xinjiang region marked the traditional Wangguo festival, celebrating the upcoming harvest with age-old customs. With barley, wine, horse races and dance, Tibetan farmers celebrated the 1,500-year-old Wangguo festival, expressing hope for a plentiful harvest season. Hong Kong's Transport Department is installing next-gen audible traffic signals for the visually impaired. The devices will announce street names when activated. In Cairo, 23-year-old coach Abdel Rahman Ismail rode his motorcycle with a white dove flying beside him, a bird he trained to free fly through city streets. Tourists flocked to see Bommy, the orphaned elephant featured in the Oscar-winning film The Elephant Whisperers at a rehabilitation center in Ooty, southern India. Kaziranga National Park and Tiger Reserve welcomed over 4.43 lakh visitors this season, becoming India's third most visited national park with a 35% rise from last year. A large number of worshippers gathered at the Lete Hanuman temple in Uttar Pradesh's Prayagraj for the second big Tuesday of the Jyeshtha month. The Alpha team walked the red carpet at the 78th Cannes Film Festival. Directed by Julia Ducournau, the film is set during the 1980s AIDS crisis and is in competition for the Palme d'Or. Rihanna and Rakim Atlaston Mears, known professionally as ASAP Rocky, made a stunning appearance at Cannes. In the premiere of the movie Fountain of Youth, actress Natalie Portman says it's a great adventure story. The film follows a thrilling emotional journey with Portman leading the cast. The live-action remake of Lilo and Stitch premiered in Los Angeles, bringing a fresh, heartfelt take on the beloved story of friendship and family. Nigeria makes its Cannes debut with My Father's Shadow, a film that explores masculinity and family ties. The powerful story offers fresh insights into complex relationships and cultural expectations. Tariq Saleh returned to Cannes to premiere Eagles of the Republic, the final chapter of his acclaimed Cairo trilogy. US actor Denzel Washington received a surprise honorary Palme d'Or award at the Cannes Film Festival in recognition of his outstanding career. Director Fatih Akin's new film Amram made its debut at Cannes. The film offers a quiet look at Germany's past and its impact today. Yash Raj Films released the teaser for War 2, starring Hrithik Roshan and Junior NTR in a thrilling face-off. Directed by Ayan Mukherjee, the film marks Junior NTR's Bollywood debut. Actors Sharmila Tagore and Simi Garewal, known for their iconic roles in Indian cinema, came together at Cannes 2025 to celebrate filmmaker Satyajit Ray. And on to sports news now. India's Diya Chitale and Yashasvi Ghorpade have marched into the pre-quarterfinals of women's doubles event at the World Table Tennis Championships finals in Doha. India's shuttler Kidambi Srikanth has secured a spot in the main draw of Malaysia Masters on Tuesday. He begins his campaign on Wednesday. Two-time Olympic medalist PV Sindhu will take on Japan's Natsuki Nidaira in her opening match of Malaysia Masters on Wednesday. Indian men's doubles pair of Satvik Sairaj Rankireddy and Chirag Shetty have dropped out of the top 20 badminton rankings for the first time in 6 years. To celebrate 100 years, Hockey India has signed an agreement with the Amity University for a special education scholarship program. Delhi Chief Minister Rekha Gupta inaugurated the Delhi Games 2025 in the city on Tuesday. The Games will play an important role in identifying and nurturing athletes. In the Indian Premier League, Chennai Super Kings face Rajasthan Royals in New Delhi on Tuesday. Both teams are out of the playoff race. Lucknow Super Giants player Digvesh Singh Rathi has been suspended for one match for breaching the Indian Premier League rules. Mumbai Indians have named Johnny Bairstow as replacement for all-rounder Will Jacks for the remainder of the IPL season. In the Mumbai Indians squad, Charit Asalanka and Richard Gleeson will replace Corbin Bosch and Ryan Rickleton, who will leave for national duties. In football, former Spain and Liverpool goalkeeper Pepe Reina will retire from football at the end of the season. The 69th edition of the annual prestigious soccer awards Ballon d'Or is scheduled to take place on 22nd September in Paris. Tottenham Hotspur have arrived in Bilbao ahead of their Europa League final against Manchester United on Wednesday. Brighton secured a 3-2 upset win over champions Liverpool in the English Premier League. Sports Minister Pilar Algeria said on Tuesday that Spain will host the 2027 Champions League final at the Atletico Madrid's Metropolitan Stadium. So that's it in this edition of Express News. Thank you for tuning in. Namaskar.